Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. This is a recording, obviously, because we did it live and it wasn't working. So we said, you know what? We want to serve our audience a lot better by having a clear and understandable video. So we're recording this and it's going to be great. So my name is Diane, obviously, and I'm going to introduce to you my guest that I met. And it's really fun how we met online. Her name is Lauryn Senko from Clutter Clearing Diva. And this is just a quick story of how we met. I was doing a webinar, a live webinar listening into, and I was in the middle of cooking and I had turned around and I had to, kind of like kill two birds with one stone, trying to learn and listen at the same time because the kids had to eat, mom life. So I had my laptop on my island and I had turned around and I was cooking. And then this is at the section where everybody's introducing what they're doing, all the business owners and this and that. And I happened to turn around and then there was this blurb, like, it's pretty, like I could see it. And I was like, oh my gosh, who is this woman? I need to talk to her. I need to know who she is because she's who I've been looking for. And every time I tell this story, I get shivers. It's weird. But before my brain can even process what I was doing, my fingers were typing right away and saying, hi, my name is Diane. You're the person I've been looking for. And I want to interview you for my audience. I'm an organizer too. And we just hit it off, right, Lauryn? It was just like, we just kept talking and talking through chat and stuff. And it was just awesome that we met that way. And the reason why I got attracted to you is because, well, I'm an organizer and I saw that, hey, you're an organizer too, but you're specializing more with like emotional, mental, energy. And it happened that a few days before, I was like, I need to help my audience more and my clients get past through the mental, the emotional aspects of their clutter. How can I help that? Because I'm not a psychologist, I need to talk to someone who can help me with this. And boom, you showed up on my screen. You know the stuff and you have an organizing background. So wow, Lauryn from Clutter Clearing Diva, you saved the day for me and my clients. I went through your bio. I'm just going to do a little quick of what Lauryn does. She uses the Denise Lynn method for transformation. She empowers others to create the change they are looking for in their lives. And she also helps facilitate that change so you can become the best version of you that you can be, all while clearing the clutter. Hey, if you can do that magic trick of like clearing all that in front of us and then inside, you're like, who are you? And I need to see you. So everybody, welcome Lauryn to this interview, this chat. Let's chat up, Lauryn. Tell us about yourself and go.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Diane. I appreciate that warm welcome. I started with, clearing the physical clutter, did my own and others. And I just realized that I was gravitating more and more towards what really lies beneath that clutter, because it stopped me. And, you just gain this awareness that there's other people too that find the distractions or procrastinate or, the just stopping themselves from moving forward and getting rid of the clutter. It can be pretty daunting on its own anyway. And there are actually 6 different types of clutter that people might not even be aware of. One of them is the physical clutter, of course. Mm-hmm. And then you've got mental and emotional clutter, which is really tied to the mindset. And I'll go into that more. Then you've got your physical clutter. And, the one thing that pops up for me with physical clutter is how often, here's a question for your audience, how often do you move and take that clutter with you? You just pack it up. and maybe it's already packed up and it's sitting in a corner of your basement and you take it with you. How many actually have storage sheds that they pay for and have it full because they can't fit it into their house, but they're renting storage for it, so they're paying for that every month? You know, is it really needed? You know, what's it going to take to go through that and to clean it up, right? There's food clutter. It's not just what's in your pantry, but what are you putting into your body? Are you cluttering up your body with food your body doesn't really run well on, that you might even be allergic to and have allergies that you're not aware of? Then you have relationship clutter. And, you know, the energy of clutter with your relationships can be very mentally draining. And it's like, do you spend time with people that maybe drain your energy and you don't exactly come away feeling as great as you did when you went to have coffee with them or whatever you're doing, right? And then there's relationships that are interwoven in all the other clutter as well. And you got time clutter. You know, do you have a super busy day, and then at the end of your day you kind of sit there and wonder, what did I do all day today? Because I didn't even get to what it was I really wanted to do, right? And then there's information and digital clutter. So information clutter is, I like to call it FOMO, you know, fear of missing out. Do you have all your notifications on? And you find social media very distracting, and all of a sudden, you know, 10 minutes has turned into an hour, and you've been distracted from what you really wanted to focus on. Or digital clutter, and that's things like electronic folders on your computer that maybe you haven't been into for years. You don't even know what's in there. Old stuff that you're not using. It's still taking up space, right? It's digital space and cluttering up your computer. Or emails. Do you subscribe to newsletters that no longer resonate with you, and they're just piling up and piling up and piling up? You do that with, you know, 10, 20 people, and you're getting all their newsletters. That could add up to thousands of emails in no time. And that's overwhelm at its finest to look at and begin to figure out how to deal with that. So even though mental and emotional clutter is clutter in itself and one of the categories, it's actually woven in and threaded in to all the rest of the clutter. So yeah, it becomes a very interesting topic on its own.
I can imagine. It's crazy because like I'm listening to everything that you're saying and I'm like, I have that. I have that. And I can, like, I'm already feeling the you know, about it. So I can imagine other people who didn't know about like the digital, the relationship clutters. And then now they're thinking, you know, all those little things that add up, you know, there's reasons for our stress, our overwhelm, our anxiety. And it's not just one reason, there's multiple reasons, and it's affecting our mental and emotional. And that's huge. I'm so glad you listed these 6 different types of clutters and teaching our audience about it and just skimming through. It's so important that we, you know, that we put this out there and get everyone aware of what it is that we are surrounding ourselves with. So, so I'm listening to your, I have for every single clutter that you've named, I was like, I had a story and like a story and an emotion attached to all of those. Like you know, you're talking about digital clutter. I was like, I'm a mom. Okay. We're all, a lot of us are moms, like my audience, we're parents. And I'm like taking pictures after pictures after pictures. Remember back in the day when we had to pay for is it the 35 millimeter camera? And you had to get that one shot right because you paid so much for it. Now we're taking pictures like it's going out of style. And I'm in the middle of decluttering my digital pictures. And there's tens of thousands of pictures of just the kids. And just to put some like associated with physically, when I have 3 kids, when my first son was born, his first birthday, we took pictures, random, like for the day. First birthday, milestone. I said, I'm going to print out and make an album of his first birthday. One, album has never been made. Two, the pictures have been printed. Can you guess how many pictures I printed out? Not 50, not 100, 800 pictures. Shame.
Wow.
So that's my clutter. Okay. And it's funny because randomly I'll open that box and say, why don't I have an album for this? And I'll look at it and I'm like, oh, that's the same picture as that picture, and that picture is the same thing as that picture. And we are victim to these like snap, 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 snap because it's so readily available to us. But without getting off track in my little story for that, but speaking of the clutter that you're talking about, one for me, and I think we can relate, and you're going to tell your story too about our parents, because you know we have our kids and now we still have our parents to take care of. And it reminds me of the story where I had to downsize my mom's home inside of 2 months, and it was not traumatic per se, but we had a deadline and it was under 2 months to get her out. So my mind frame was very like RoboCop, like we got to do this, got to do this. But my eye also looked to the side and I saw her hunched over, you know, the sadness, you know, of letting things go, things that haven't been done yet, the would have, could have, should have, and the has been. You know, my father passed away in 2006. She moved out of her house and downsized 10 years later. And some things were still there. You know, his jackets, his old hobby stuff, his tools in the garage, his, you know, we had camping equipment and we hadn't gone camping since like 1984. The single year, summer, where we went camping, and we still had the camping equipment and the cups and the plates. But I saw in her, and, you know, I'd ask her questions like, why didn't you just get rid of these things? And it was just, you know, it was too much, overwhelming, and she didn't know where to start. And here she is, she has a deadline and her life passed before her eyes. Now I know you have a similar story to that with your own twist and version, so share away, because I'm sure a lot of us are relating.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important, just before I go into this story, I wanted to differentiate between what is mental clutter, what is emotional clutter, because it'll help bring some light to the experiences that other people have as well. And you mentioned the shoulda, woulda, couldas. That right there is also part of the mental and emotional clutter. Because if you're thinking about the shoulda, woulda, couldas, you're thinking about something in the past. This is related to time clutter, right? If you're thinking about the past, you're not in the present moment and being mindful. If you're thinking about something that hasn't happened yet, well, now you're thinking about something that could be bringing on worry or fear, because your mind starts to go down this downward spiral of what could happen. And this is all part, again, of the mental and emotional clutter. So when it comes to mental clutter, it's the busyness of the mind. It's what I call monkey mind. And the chatter going on in your head, usually it's not pretty either, right? You're not in your head patting yourself on your back and saying, way to go, you did an awesome job. It's sometimes the exact opposite. Quite often it can be the exact opposite. And it lends itself to negativity and also feeling of lack. So, you know, negativity is the mental clutter. The busyness is the mental clutter. You know, it interferes with your vibration and the feeling and the vibes that you're putting out there for what you attract in your life. It's interwoven a lot with the law of attraction, which I also talk about in my upcoming book. So the mental clutter also is to do with the critical self-talk and the judgment that you place on maybe not only, you know, others or a situation, but yourself as well. And that just leads to that downward spiral that doesn't, help you or anybody else. And then you've got the emotional clutter. So that's the feelings behind it. It's the doubt, the worry, the fear, the sadness, the frustration, the anxiety that comes up so often. It keeps you from not thinking clearly, and it keeps you stuck from moving ahead so often in so many situations. So this really is, when you think about it, the energy of the clutter that lies beneath is very close to like attracts like. So it's that law of attraction, right? What you're putting out is what you're getting back. If you have inner chaos, then you're going to have outer chaos. Those are things just to bring up a bit more of awareness to your day and what you're doing in your day. And when it comes to life experiences, I mean, you talk about the experience you had with your mom, and it was very similar to that I had with my dad. It was the most daunting clutter clearing project that I could have ever taken on, which, you don't realize the huge impact until you are actually in it. And we downsized my dad from a house of, it was his parents' home. They bought it brand new. It's like over 75 years ago. And then my dad inherited it and he moved in. And my grandparents were collectors of things. We'll put it that way. And same with my dad. And, so they brought up their family there. And my dad moves in. They still had a lot of their stuff in that house. You've got a full attic. You've got a full main floor. You've got a full basement. You've got 2 outbuildings full. You talk about tools, full of things, full of stuff, full of 1980s Eaton and Sears catalogs. Because it might be needed someday. I don't know. I don't know what was behind that, but we can laugh at it now. But the mental and emotional clutter certainly does play volumes in doing something like this, not only for the people that are cleaning it out to move we're moving my dad from a house into a 500 square foot apartment. We were there for 5 days to clear out 75 years worth of stuff. We had help. We didn't have a lot. We had limited resources, but we had amazing resources that came about unexpectedly and in good time. And, my husband and I took the first shift, so to speak, for 5 days, and my brother took a shift of 3 days a few weeks later. And we actually did enough in the first 5 days to get my dad moved over to the apartment. And then, my brother had to help just get the rest cleared out with some help. Daunting is the only way I could put it. Overwhelmed to the 9th degree. So, there were lessons learned from this. And, those are things that I can actually help our viewers with, is don't wait to the last minute. Things come up even if you don't expect it. When you've got aging parents, it's not enough to just say, okay, you need to start clearing up some of this stuff. It's overwhelmed for them. Yeah. We learned that the hard way because we had been, asking for years. Oh, I think it's time you start going through your spaces and clean it up. But it didn't happen. So what a person can do is get together as a family and you go through a room at a time. Each time you visit, spend a couple of days or 3 days, go through a room. If you can, if they're close by and you can make frequent trips, do it over the span of a year where you can take your time, appreciate the attachments that your parents have to these things and help them process it because it's okay to let it go. You know, it's those memories that they'll always have. And they can, of course, you know, keep their most cherished things, but what they're attached to may not necessarily be what you're attached to.
Absolutely.
So, right, there's a lot for them to process and for you to process, and eliminate the overwhelm by doing these rooms at a time, and not you know, get overwhelmed by having to do it in such a short span, because
Yeah.
it's mentally and physically draining. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny because you're talking about your story with your dad and everything, and within the last 2 weeks, I've heard the same similar stories through friends and girlfriends having gone through this exactly like it, and I saw them. You know, I spoke to one and I saw her physically, and then I was chatting on WhatsApp with another, and the messages that they were just like, oh, they've gone through a lot. And there's so many great points that you said, and I'm so happy that you differentiated mental and emotional, because you know, to someone it's like all in the same, like, you know, same box. It's all the same. It's up in here, it's all in the same box. But because you actually put a fine line, now we're like, oh, this is what that is. Mental is all the busyness. Emotional is like the emotions are involved, which is really, it's fantastic that you said that and that you gave your tips of what to do. Sorry, this is really, I didn't bring this up on our live the last time, but when you brought up, like, you know, do an activity with the rest of the family and come in and, you know, do it over the course of a year, I'm also thinking of certain families. Not everybody will be on the same page or be so happy about going through these. You know, there's so much pushback, resentment, like, why are we dealing with mom and dad's things right now? They're not even dead. Or that was my Tiffany lamp she got at my whatever 16th birthday. You know, so that's on top of the parent to have to deal with, and it's huge. It's huge. So it's great that you say, you know, start early on. I know during our conversations, because Lauren and I have been talking on Messenger and video chat for a bit, not a bit. It's like we've been chatting for a long time. And then I had mentioned a book. Now I can't even find it, but it was the Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, and this woman, Margaret, I forget her last name, and she basically talks about that because she had to move 4 times. And this woman, when she wrote this book, she was over 80 years old. And then she was talking about that. She did it over the course of, I think, the last 20 years of her life. She had to downsize for her husband. She had to help herself. Then she had to help her kids or something. But her key points were just like you. Go through, it's a process. Go through each item, designate which item is going where, to whom, when, you know, and to go with it, go through it with the parent. And it's important as us too, like you went through this, I went through this. Now imagine what our children have to go through. So it's almost like, if you don't want your kids to go through this burden or this heavy weight on their shoulders, we got to start helping out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's actually a big point, right? And it's easier if you start now on your own clutter, right? And clean it up. You feel better for it. The energy in your home feels better for it. It is amazing. You clear out one drawer and it's like, oh my God, that felt so good. You know, just the feeling and the space that it clears out energetically is profound in what it can do for you in your life. Yeah,
absolutely. Very cool. So just to move on to the next question. All right. Tell us about your book and the date it's coming out. Because I'm talking to an author, guys. Talking to an author.
Oh, thanks, Diane. That's thank you. I appreciate that.
That's
awesome. Fun. My book is called The Energy of Gratitude and More. And it's a 30-day take action journal. So what makes it different is that I help people understand through micro learning some different key things that are woven throughout their life that they might not be aware of. So it's gratitude prompts and daily exercises and journaling to help you understand even yourself better. And gratitude is actually one of the foundational tools to everything in life, that and love. And throughout the 30 days, I help you become aware of where your clutter is and how it's affecting you during your day. So we talked about the 6 types of clutter and the energy behind it. And even though mental and emotional clutter is considered one of the categories of clutter, it's woven throughout your entire life and in everything you do. So I help you learn how to become aware of that, and then how you can become empowered through the awareness of where your clutter is and how to deal with it. Being aware is like the key to everything, and to mindfully being able to live your life on purpose and through more joy. So the key points of the book touch on gratitude, intention, which is huge, gratitude, which is huge, mindset strategies, which is huge to be able to rewire your brain to think differently, and awareness. So those are the key points, and it's just a beautiful blend to help people take action in small, actionable steps.
Love it.
And yeah, and to do this on a daily basis in a way that's fun and easy to learn, right? So that you actually are co-creating your life with the universe.
Love it.
Yeah. So thank you.
It's possible that, because this is a whole, like, you're working internally, you can come out of this a completely brand new, different thinking person. That's so awesome.
Yeah, you've hit that right on the head. That's true. The energy of where you were when you first started the 30-day journey will be entirely different by the time you've finished. You will have learned so much about yourself, and it really is what I like to call a soul journey. And you can repeat this process over and over again in the 30 days and keep up leveling yourself. What you're doing is you're clearing out your own internal clutter, and you are becoming more authentically you, is the way I like to put it. So it's a new journey every time you start, because things you weren't ready to be aware of with the first go around, you will pick up the second and the third time. So you will always be learning in order to be able to master these things and, empower yourself to create the life that you really see up in here. It has to match in here, and
true,
create that reality mindfully.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, you always hear, one day, I wish I could, blah, 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 one day. And a lot of us are guilty about this. I'm guilty about it. And you can't become the person that you want to be if you're not aligning yourself and putting yourself in the path towards success. So in your gratitude, intention, and mindset strategy book, you're saying having little wins. And that's huge for many of us. Because there's the goal, and the goal could be so far away. I want to become a runner. I want to become a marathon runner. No, I don't. But I always said I would like to run. I would like to be a runner. I don't like running. I don't. But I have that vision of myself. And then I said, you know what? I need to start. And I'm also reading the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it's the same alignment of what you're saying too about, for the small wins, okay, set yourself up for success. Get your shoes ready in the morning, or have your shoes right here at your by your bed, if that's what you guys do. have your water bottle ready, have the podcast that you're going to listen to or the playlist while you're running, in small little steps. Like when I started, it was 3 weeks ago, I don't run every single day. That's not me. But I found an app. I said, I'm going to put my mind thought. I started with an app and I looked at what it was, and it was very gradual. We were only running a minute for 3 times a week. That's 3 minutes, but not 3 minutes. It's 3 times a week of very gradual running. And then now I don't say anymore, I would like to run. I actually am a runner. I actually am an author. I actually am a successful business owner,
Yeah,
I
Diane,
love
there's a lot of power in using the I am phrase. And I talk about that in my book, actually.
love look
There's
at that.
there's huge power in that, in the I am phrases. So it's interesting that you bring that up. Yeah,
I
that's
love
very
it.
cool.
And then something also, when you mentioned gratitude, we talked offline before, and you mentioned about gratitude and how it opens yourself up to opportunities and to other things that the universe is throwing at you. And then before I heard you say that, I used to think gratitude just keeps me grounded, and it keeps me calm and quiet-minded and quiet heart. And then when you said that to me, I went bing, and it kind of like went to the way how we met. I was in the moment, present. And when I had wished to find someone, I was actually very present and calm when I said it. And it could have been like from my room to the bathroom. I said, oh, I need to find someone to help me with my clients. But at the moment, I was calm and quiet. And then the universe
Yeah.
found you for me
Yeah.
because I was calm. And I was like, divine intervention is happening in the internet.
Yeah, that's so cool the way you put it, because those are the synchronicities that start showing up for you when you're mindfully present. And that's what gratitude will help you with. It's having, being grateful for what you have now. And that feeling is a vibration that you are sending out to the universe. You're matching that feeling, so you will get more of that back to you. And there go
Yes.
your chills again. And the synchronicities are something that I help people with as well. It's in the book about the synchronicities that start showing up for you when you take these small actionable steps. You start celebrating your small wins every day with these small actionable steps. You're now feeling gratitude for yourself, and those little accomplishments turn out to be a ripple effect for big accomplishments.
Amazing. So you keep mentioning this book. When is this book going to be available for the rest of us and the rest of the audience?
Yeah, thank you. I'm still working on the actual date, but I'm targeting here very soon, within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops. It's going to be out. I've got to talk to the publisher and get a handle on that date. But that's what I'm looking at. Targeting the next couple of weeks for sure would be fantastic.
Well, when you get the date and the link, you send it off to me, and I will spread the joy so that, we can push this forth and help people out who are struggling with these things. And this is awesome that you're doing this. So let me know.
I will. Hey, I went through it myself when I wrote the book, and little did I know that I would come up against and face my own, limiting beliefs and blocks and habitual patterns. It made me aware so I could take action. And it's just, that's what the book will do for people, is
amazing.
Do the same thing. So
love it. Yeah. So I understand you have a lot planned for the rest of 2020 and into 2021, busy girl. What's happening?
Oh, gosh, yes. If I could split myself in two and then do not sleep, it would be awesome. Yeah, I've got, right away, that the first thing is, of course, to get my book out. And that'll be physical book as well as a Kindle version. Then I'm going to create a digital version as well. of the book, and I'm going to create a full course based on the book. Some people learn differently, right?
Yes. Yes.
And that's, I want to give the opportunities for people to choose the method that works best for them. I also want to put out there a fun gratitude challenge to make it easy to learn these small actionable steps. Some of it will come from the book. Some of it will be new concepts that I will weave into the challenge to make it fun as well for people. And then I'm also, some who know and some who don't, I am also a health coach. I've got a couple certifications, which I got because I was researching to figure out my own health battles, right? And to figure that piece of the puzzle out for me. So I have an absolute passion to help people with their health and well-being. And I'm behind the scenes also working on a cookbook to help people. So that's also in the works. So I will have a whole, just like I'm doing for this, the gratitude and clutter and the energy behind it. I will have some big pieces coming out for the food clutter next year.
Cool. So what's the food, what's your, like, what are you mostly focusing on for the cookbook or
For
the
the
recipe book? Yes, for the recipe book.
Oh,
Also, I have it here.
Yes, Primal and Paleo. So it's eating gluten-free. A lot of people have some issues with eating gluten. Now it's becoming more and more prevalent in society. There's reasons for that. There's people who may have a whole bunch of symptoms but don't know why. Well, there's reasons for that too. And so I eat primally. My family eats primally. My dog, he's a primal eater as well. And my husband. So it's a Primal and Paleo cookbook, and I'm really excited about it. It will.
I love it.
You don't have to eat bland food. That's such a misconception when it comes to eating primal or paleo. You know, you get quite often is, what do you eat? I can't eat salad all day long. Oh, believe me, I don't eat salad, all day long. I love my salads, but yeah, it's so much more to that. So I'm excited about that endeavor.
Busy girl, look at you. I'm so I'm excited, just to let the audience know of everything that you have to offer. You give so much value, and lots of people are benefiting just from this interview alone, because now they know where to find you. They know where to look for your stuff. It's great. Your website is right below, but we're gonna reiterate this at the end. But just a little closing on this great interview. I'm so happy we are doing this and recording it on a clear stream.
Yeah.
And this is wonderful, Lauryn. I'm so excited for all your things. And just before we close, Lauryn and I have little treats for you guys. So I'm going to present mine, and then Lauryn's going to present hers. Okay. So for those of you who had listened to my Q&A Tuesday this morning, August 11th, I have a brand new 3-part mini training series for you. And it's called, I hope I get the name right, I've only written 5,000 words of this, but it's minimizing the excess from overwhelm to under control in 7 steps. And it's on video. So I was hoping to have the training ready for you guys today. But with all the glitches and just life happening, you know what? I'm going to give myself grace and say it's okay that I'm running late or I didn't meet my deadline. That's okay. So the training number 1 will be available today, and then slowly within this week, by Wednesday, or let's say by the weekend, to give myself wiggle room, all 3 video trainings will be available, and I will post up the link on the descriptions here. So it really helps you with your minimizing, because it's kind of like the first step to organizing. You can organize if you have room, but if you don't have room, you gotta start at not square one, but like the prerequisites, which is minimizing. So a lot of people have a hard time starting to organize a project because they have to minimize and they don't know how to do that. So That's what this training is about. And I hope you guys check it out. And it's going to tie in really well with what Lauryn has to offer and what this whole theme was today about tying in emotional and mental clutter with physical clutter. So go ahead, Lauryn, tell us your goodies.
Fantastic, Diane. I'm definitely going to be on that video. I want to present to people a really beautiful ancient Hawaiian practice called Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono, excuse me. It's not an easy one to say. I
Not,
say
I
so
can't
many
even
times
say it.
today. Ho'oponopono. It's a beautiful ancient Hawaiian practice, actually, to help release, heal, and clear the energetic connections that you can still have and be holding on to through your past relationships. Not only past, but any current relationships with anyone or anything. It works on all of it, especially on yourself. And it's a beautiful, beautiful practice. So I've got a poster that I created and a guide for people to use the practice, where I explain how to use it. I just like to say, take the time to go through it. When you've got the time to be alone and to start using this practice. And I still use it, and it can turn out, believe it or not, after you clear the stuck energy, you'll do a lot of releasing. Have a box of Kleenex ready. That's all I can say. But, this is sometimes what you need to do. You stuff your emotions down inside, and you shove them down because you don't want to feel those emotions, and this stays stuck, and you stay stuck. So it's a beautiful way to actually hold love and compassion for yourself and the situation, and be able to clear that, release it, heal it, and move on. It's simple, it's powerful, and it works. So I'm very happy to be able to present this to people as my gift to them. I'm going to have it up on my Facebook. I'm going to have it up on my Instagram and on my website for them as well. And that if they want to check it out right now, they can go to the energyofgratitude.com/Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono.
We're going to include the link on the descriptions so that you guys know exactly where to find it. And this is fantastic because I've heard of that 3-4 years ago, and I was like, I don't know. And then when you mentioned it, again, divine intervention, it was just like, wow, this is so cool. And I love that, how we talked about the downsizing and the emotional and mental, and how that ties in with the physical and mental. And here you are, we're totally marrying. If you marry both of our freebies, guys, you are already like successful. You've already stepped into the doorway and the pathway of success. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. This is awesome. So Lauryn, where can we find you, Miss Busy, soon to be author?
Well,
wow.
I'm on, thank you. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/clutterclearingdiva. So I'm easy to find. Instagram, same thing, instagram.com/clutterclearingdiva. And my website is clutterclearingdiva.com. And under Instagram, actually, under my bio link, you can click, to make it easy on yourselves, you can click on my bio link, and I've got Linktree set up with the freebie, the blog, my website, Facebook, Instagram. One click and you're there. And I'm happy to answer questions. And I'm excited to be able to, offer my book to people, to be able to, move forward and just get them unstuck and help them the best way I can.
Yeah. Wow. So thank you so much, Lauryn, for your time and your patience. Today was a tough day. I think we're going to be having a few tonight. But thank you so much, Lauryn. You are amazing. Your energy, I can feel you through. You're where again? In Canada? Canadian, guys. I didn't mention it.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Calgary. I'm in Calgary, Alberta.
Awesome. So really great having you on my Facebook. live. I'm hoping to have you again doing several other chats. Guys, if there's something that you are catching from here and wanting us to dive deeper into, like, by all means, like, private message us or write in the comments below. Let us know what it is that more you want to know about, because the whole point of us being here is to help you guys succeed in life. All right. So to that, I bid you guys a great day or a great week, and thanks for watching. Bye.